Once again, guys, it's another day. It's another day. What a day it was. Today we had a nice bit of a squeeze at some early in the morning. We had a squeeze in the market. We went up, but as we see the price action and how things were reacting around strong structural resistance levels, really nothing's changed. We're gonna get into it, and you guys are going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Nothing has changed as of right now. I mean, it was a good day. If you were already bullish, you had some stuff. You might have a chance to get out of a few things. If you bought yesterday, you might take some profit today. If you did, but structurally or fundamentally, nothing has really changed in the market, and you guys are going to see that as we get into the chart. So before I even get deep into it, I must remind you guys, every single thing that I say here is for educational purposes only. It is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell anything. Quick reminder that trading carries a lot of risk, including potential loss of capital. Before you do anything, do your own due diligence, do your own research, and if you don't know what you're doing, make sure to speak with a financial advisor so you can make proper decisions. All right, I am not your financial advisor. This is Coach Lord, just letting you guys know what I'm seeing in the market, what the market is telling me, and what I am doing in the market. Now it's time to get right into it. So we had FOMC meeting today, right? So we had FOMC meeting today, but nothing really changed. We didn't cut interest rate. We didn't raise interest rate. We just stayed neutral. And pretty much we had three camps. And what really happened, but we're based on the information that actually spilled out, those camps are now more divided than ever. So it's like you have the doves, the ones who wants to cut interest rate are more dovish. The hawks are more hawkish, and the ones who's been on the fence are just on the fence. They just saying they need to see more information. You actually have some people that's as calling for a rate hike. Some people think we should cut interest rate by 1%, which is crazy. By going down by 1 point, that's crazy, or at least 50 basis points. That's a little crazy. That would send some shockwave in the market. And you have those who thinks we should raise our interest rate by 25 basis points, because they see inflation is still an issue, and they don't want our lower interest rate until we see inflation down to more like the 2%, which has been their target to begin with. So nothing changed, right? So the market seems like it was going to go up. People took positions very early, and then when this happened, while I was live with those guys today, I was telling everybody, it seems like people are getting in positions because they have an idea of what's coming. But if you start seeing before the numbers come out, you start seeing the unwinding. Once we get to strong resistance levels, that's probably an indication nothing is going to change. And that's exactly how that played out today. All right, guys. Anyway, if you guys are here, thank you again for joining me for another episode. Make sure to smash the like button for me. Yesterday, I have to commend you guys. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yesterday, I saw the number of likes and comments and things like that on the live. I would appreciate the exact same thing again. If you are here, make sure to like the live. Drop something in the comment. I don't know. Give me a thumbs up, anything, a wave. I'll take anything. Any engagement that you guys do while I'm doing this live, that helps the algorithm push out the channel, so that helps me a lot. That's the only thing I'm asking you for. All right, I'm not asking you guys up to donate any money. Although if you do, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not asking for any of that. I'm just asking you guys. I would really appreciate that if you guys can drop something in the chat for me. Like the video, share the video, but more importantly, is just engage with the video as we are live, because that helps a lot. All right, now it's time to get into the charts and see exactly what we did. Now, why am I saying? You guys can see the title of this video. Nothing has changed, right? Nothing has changed. And exactly that. All we're doing, we have been since 4 days ago when we had that big drop. We just dropped right inside of this range. What did we do today? The same thing. We went up, So we went all the way to the bottom of the range, and now we are at the top of the range. And you guys can see how this have like a long tail, right? So that's what the daily is showing. We got to that resistance level, and we could not take it. So that means people are selling into it. We could not take it. Therefore, nothing has changed fundamentally, right? If we closed above the resistance line, I would have said, okay, maybe we have a higher probability of maybe trying to squeeze once again. We have tried to squeeze over and over and over. We just cannot do it. But maybe you could say, you could make an argument, say once we do that, maybe we'll try to squeeze, see if we can take that one more time. Maybe we'll even make a new high. But as of right now, that's just not what it's looking like. Is it still possible to happen? Of course it is. All right, anything's possible. But the higher probability for tomorrow is once again that would be another move down. That's what we are looking at on the S&P 500. Now let's dig in a little deeper just to see what we are looking at. Oh, one thing I must say, by the way, before I move away from the daily. One other thing I want to let you guys know. As we are looking this here, right, while the MACD keeps making new low and new low and new low, we are not going lower. All right, we are not going lower. We are staying put. As far as the S&P 500, we just have a range. We've been in that range since December, early December. We've been in that range. Actually, late November to early December, we've been in that range, and we just pretty much, you guys can see that here. That has been our range, and we just pretty much just stay there. We're not really going anywhere. Although the MACD showing that hey, it's down, yada, all this stuff, we're not actually going anywhere, which could really set up for a nice squeeze. All right, that could set things up for a nice squeeze. So we will see. We will see. And now we can see as of today, we're losing momentum on the way down. So can we get that curl? If we get that curl, that would be good news. But let's see in the lower time frame when we dig in to see how we are looking in the lower time frame. Excuse me. So in the lower time frame, this is the problem that I still have. There's a couple of things that contradict themselves, right? So we still have that bit of head and shoulder pattern still here. That's showing itself. This would be the right shoulder being formed, right? Which would be bearish. However, if you look at the MACD, we're making a new high on the MACD. This is a new high on the MACD. That's bullish divergence on the MACD, which is good news. That's really good news, right? Hey, Empire Path, James, I see you guys here. Anybody else that's here, man, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. Give me anything. Just drop anything in the chat. I would appreciate that because that really helps me with the algorithm in pushing out the content. Let's go into 2 hours. 2 hours is doing what exactly? So it seems like we actually played out that bit of inverted head and shoulder pattern, right? We sort of played that out, and we had that. We seems like we're gonna have that push. Can we really have the push? We shall see. All right. We just going to see if we can get the push. I'm going to remove the head and shoulder pattern because we already talked about that. So now what I'm going to do instead is find our levels. Trend line. This is the trend line. Look at that rejection, right? So trend line starts here, and we hit it right there. And this is where we came. And once again, so now we have a bit of a wedge to deal with right in there. So now, can we break above this, or do we come back and test this? Do we do this and eventually do that, or do we do the exact same thing and eventually breaks down? Right? So now we have a bit of a wedge, and that is the 2 hour time frame. The MACD on the 2 hours, MACD, Warden, I see you, man. I appreciate that. The MACD in the 2 hours, you can see that doing a bullish divergence. So we are just waiting and see for me to take that for a squeeze, we need to break this level. For me, this level needs to be broken. Best case scenario would be tomorrow we break it, retest, and then we can get that squeeze. That's what we should be looking for. And if not, it seems like we might also get rejected and pushed back down to this level. All right. This is the beauty of these things, right? Based on where we are now, right? Based on where we are now, if we can break this trend line to go up, there's not much resistance. We're going to see a nice squeeze, a nice push on the way up. Same thing. If we get rejected, look at there's not much resistance down to those levels. We're going to just plunge down. We might just go right back to this level. All right. I mean, there's some minor resistance here that still help, but that's the way things going to play out. Now let's check the 30 minutes. The 30 minutes is the scariest thing. All right. The 30 minutes just pretty much isolated itself. We can see everyone should be able to see what we are seeing here. This is so clear. This pattern you guys are seeing here is so clear. Everybody, if you've been here, if you've been here, you've been with me. As soon as you see this, you should know it because I talk about this so many times. You guys should have an eye for that. What exactly are we seeing here? There it is, right there. Bam. You have that again right there. Head and shoulder pattern. This is like very easy. Or I just wanted to do it with that, or you guys can do it simply just do it with this. I mean that is like almost too perfect, right? So we going to need to break out of that. Now if we might have this actually play out. Let's say let me see exactly something. If this plays out, so this would be from here. So that's the range, right? I guess you can put that right there. So that would be our range. This is about 511 and right about 5. This is how funny this is. So if this thing plays out, the move we're going to get exactly to fulfill that head and shoulder pattern is exactly that. And why, if you here for the first time and you ask yourself why did I measure it that way? That would be the expected move if we do get a breakdown of the neckline, which should be right here. This is how you measure it. When you're looking at a move like a head and shoulder pattern or a bull flag. So what you do is you take the top of the move, go all the way up to the head, measure it down to the neckline, and whatever range, whatever distance that it gives you. You see how this is from let's say about 688 to 683. So that's about like a 6 7 point move. So you should be expecting to get the exact same move back again. It should be the exact same move on the downside. So that's how you know where your targets are when you analyzing a stock and see a potential move being done, and you're looking for your target. So this is how you do it. All right. Again, the stock market just remains to be what I keep telling people is more like a day trading market. This is what if you just got here, I appreciate you being here. Please make sure to like the like for me. I would really appreciate that. Get those likes up for me and just drop anything in the chat for me. All right. Whether it's a thumbs up, a coffee mug, anything. I'm a coffee drinker, so a coffee mug I would appreciate that. But a thumbs up, a wave, anything, I would really appreciate that because that really helps me with the algorithm to get the all that my contents getting pushed out and really help me grow the channel. So I would really appreciate that from you guys. So anyway, that's the way you counter that. I wanna just talking to you guys straight up. Right now, personally, I am not really getting into buying a lot of leap calls or any long plays or anything like that. Anyone that's in the option alert chat will tell you I'm not giving that many plays these days. And the reason why is this is more like for swing trades, right? I'm liking those plays for I'm dropping those plays. I'm saying this is the swing trades I'm taking. Right now, this market is not swing trade friendly. Because this is what happens, right? Now take a look at that. Let's say you had I had dropped a swing trade because this seems like hey things are going to drop and whatever. This is where we are. you drop that, right? It reverse. It moves up to the other way so fast. Whatever you have in that current play is pretty much worthless, unless you're going out maybe at least 6 months on something. This is why. So I'm really trying to be patient. There's a few things that has been warning that I'm waiting to see what's happening because they seem like they're doing a bit of a bull flag. But other than that, right now this market is more tailored for day trading. All right, if you day trade, you can catch some good stuff if you day trading. But as of right now, for me, I just don't see swing trading to be the best use in the market right now, especially short term, unless you are getting long, very long things, so you can just stay in it and deal with all the the volatility in the near term because your play or your expiration is so far away that it doesn't impact it as much. All right. Anyway, so that's the S&P 500. That's what I just gave you guys. Let's move on to the Qs. Let's see what the Nasdaq is doing. Again, the Nasdaq did the same thing. So this is the line I was telling you guys, right? Look at that. This is the beauty of trading. And I did not trade the Nasdaq, and I regretted I did not look at the Qs because I would have seen that. So we gapped above that. Remember when I told you guys it's either we gap or we move down. Although the higher probability was for us to do what? Go down. We didn't. We actually gapped up. We gapped outside of the falling wedge. But I do tell you guys, eventually falling wedge typically tells you we're going up. So we gapped up, but guess the funny thing, we still came back and actually test the trend line. We still came back and actually test the trend line, and then we squeeze. Unfortunately, I did not see that because that's not one of those things I was watching. I typically when I'm day trading, I typically look I day trade futures. Therefore, I was not actually watching the cues to actually take a trade on it. That's the only reason I missed that one. But that was a nice, I guess you can say a break and retest. That was really nice. So he gapped up and he just came to fill the gap, gapped up out of the falling wedge, came to fill the gap. That's the gap right here, right? He came to fill the gap and then squeeze. All right. Now it seems like we did drop toward the end of the day, which is sort of like what I expected, because nothing really changed, right? People front run the market thinking, hey, the conditions are perfect for us to get a rate cut, and then people realize, hey, actually no, we're not getting one, and then this happened. And now what are we setting up? This is the 30 minutes. Once again, we are setting up a head and shoulder pattern. And this is like perfectly shown. You can see it. Is there still a possibility we may swing, we may squeeze up? Yeah, sure, there is. But what's the higher probability move to happen? That would be a move down because we have a head and shoulder pattern. Now, I want to get rid of that because I did this yesterday. Let's get rid of that and let's take a look to see what we have going on here. Now, this this is the reverse. Remember the last one was a falling wedge, right? Now what we have is a rising wedge. Now we have a rising wedge. That's a rising wedge pattern. And look at that. So down, up hit, we do this, and up doing that, came down, touch it, hit here. Now we're back here again. What typically happens eventually on a rising wedge? We typically falls down. All right, we typically falls down. That's a rising wedge. Rising wedges are not very good. Now, if you want to take a step back through all of this stuff, if you actually take a step back, what exactly do you see we're doing? We had a big drop, and all we're doing is just consolidation all in those areas. That is all we're doing. This is still, in my opinion, still a bear flag, because we have not negate that move yet. All right, we have not negated that move yet. Now let's go into 2 hours and see what we're looking like in the 2 hours. Here we go. So the 2 hours actually does not look bad. So the 30 minutes doesn't look good, but the 2 hour in the 2 hours, this is it. We have a bullish divergence in the 2 hours, right? Although we are losing steam, which is not good because we are losing steam. But the 2 hours once again is showing us. Hold on, let me bring that down. The 2 hours is showing us once again that we are strong resistance. We cannot take this, but hey, we might bounce and move up this way, right? It is possible for that to happen. What exactly has the higher probability to happen right now? Because we are closing below resistance level. Yeah, I would say it would be more of a drop. Now we would need some good news tomorrow. I believe we have unemployment numbers come out tomorrow. Depending on how that plays out with unemployment, we might drop. But again, this is what I always talk to you guys about. Regardless of what's happening, make sure you keep an eye on the macro level. This is where the resistance was for the left shoulder of that head and shoulder I was talking about, right? Now, even though we had that bit of a squeeze, this was the resistance. Guess where this shoulder came to actually test? Exactly this right there, and he got to that level and he could not take it and he just fell. Right? It just fell. So if you're looking at both of these, all we are doing once again, it is the exact same thing. That is all that's happening. Nothing has changed yet. All right, this is what I mean by nothing has changed. It's just as of right now, a head and shoulder pattern on the higher time frame is still the setup, is still the play, but it's just not yet ready. Can it negate that by squeezing up? Of course it can. All right, but the higher probability is a drop. If we go in the 4 hours, same thing, we're gonna see it there. Now let's take a look at the daily. All right, the daily. By the way, if anybody has any questions, guys, I always tell you guys that if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I like when you guys are participating in the live and making this interactive. That is really good. I enjoy answering questions for you guys because that way I feel like I am giving you guys something that you actually want to learn about. All right. Again, if we look at that once again, you guys can see we still are not really squeezing up. We're not squeezing up. We're not squeezing up. It is not happening. Again, our best case scenario, that is still in play for us to have a what? Right there to have a double bottom and squeeze. So that is still in play. But so far with what's going on here, what exactly are we seeing? Right? We had this drop. Once we got to this drop, we get to this level that we cannot take yet. Why can't we take it? What exactly does that mean? That means we are doing that. And that would be, let me do it somewhere else so you guys can see it. That means we are doing a bear flag. All right? So we're still working and doing a bear flag, and that to me is a problem. The fact that we cannot take this. Now, what's holding up things for us right now is the fact that we have like all this zone here. So that's a big support zone. Actually, I can even bring that a little lower. Yeah, there you go. Bring that a little lower. So this is a support zone. So we just came to that zone and that zone held. All right. So all these would have to get taken out before we can have a world drop in the market. All of those would have to be taken out. So this is why, and so now, as of right now, we're still holding, right? We're still holding as of right now. All right. I want to take a quick look at Bitcoin, see what Bitcoin is doing. I just like checking that for you guys just a little bit. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Again, I'm not gonna waste too much time on that. This is doing absolutely nothing. This is like, as of right now, Bitcoin is like dead money. That thing is asleep and not doing very much at all. That thing is completely asleep. Let me take a look at the Mag 7. I like taking a look at the Mag 7 so we can see what we are doing in the Mag 7. Once again, what is the Mag 7 doing? Again, to me, all of those are dangerous. It's doing another bear flag. Remember when I called this bear flag right there, right? I was with you guys. I called this bear flag right there, and then we had that drop. Now we're doing another bear flag. Once again, a bear flag is when we have a drop, a sharp drop, and then we have a bit of a pullback. That's just a pullback, couple candles, and then what you should be expecting is a candle, a decisive trend-setting candle that break out of the flag and show you that, hey, this is where we're going. That's pretty much what I'm looking at as of right now. Um, let's see. Next thing I want to go over is the 10 year. The 10 year is rising again. The 10-year yield is rising again, and that is not good news for the stock market. When the 10-year yield is rising, that means money is more expensive, and that typically negatively impact the market. Let's go on the VIX. Take a look at the VIX. See what we're doing. We are not doing much in the VIX, really. That was just a doji. We just like open there, did a bit of an upward thing, dropped down when we had that squeeze, and then it just pretty much neutral. Let me see if we check the lower time frame, see if we have any indication. Oh, that is not very nice. Okay. Um. So what exactly are you guys seeing here, right? I talked to you guys a lot about head and shoulder pattern. Now we are seeing the reverse, right? What are we seeing here? We are seeing an inverted head and shoulder pattern, which is that pattern typically signifies that we are going to get a squeeze. All right, so that's what we're looking at. This is our neckline. Gonna put that there. See if we get that squeeze of that neckline. And as I mentioned yesterday, volatility is one way of taking a hedge against your portfolio, right? So if I have a portfolio, I don't wanna liquidate my stock because they are long-term investments. I don't wanna sell them, so I don't pay taxes on them. So what you can do instead, if you feel like the market is at a tipping point and certain things might happen, what you do, you can either just buy calls on the VIX or just buy the VIX and hold it because as the market drops, volatility rise, right? So that means if we I wanna show you guys something. So for example, look at what happened right there. Now imagine you had your stock and you didn't want to sell, right? So this was around the April liberation day, right? When we had that big drop, had you just feel like something might be coming in, so you hedge your portfolio, right? And you got some calls or you get some shares from this. This started at around like 16 and squeezed to all the way up to 60. That's 16 to 60, right? So you're talking about a return of 250% on your money. 250%. Now, the beauty about that is after you have a squeeze like that, you take your profit, you still have your stocks. You're still holding your stocks, or if it's a leap that you have, you still have your leaps and whatever. Once you get out of that, so you protect your portfolio so that way you don't get into margin calls in case you're using margin and things like that. And then when things volatility goes down, the stock market rise again, you make more money on the stocks you already own because now they're going back either making new highs or going back to the same levels that they used to be and things like that. As long as they are quality stocks, they should rebound. All right, so that's how you play that. to make sure you show up your portfolio so you don't get hurt too much when things like that happen. I have that list here that I still had from yesterday. You guys can see the list. As far as I believe that question was from Empire Path about how do you manage and navigate volatility in the market. And this is what I do. This is the way that I play things. Now, one thing I want to tell you guys, right? I know I tell you guys, hey, I'm really not dropping too much in the community as far as calling plays and whatever. Reason why it's really not a swing trade market. Besides some very very specific things, like I have certain things I'm looking at. You guys could see that when this I think I put out around there when I got out on this. That was Pepsi. So that seems like maybe it might be making a bull flag. But if you're looking at this, this is extended, right? That's very 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 extended. So I scan the market. I look for things. What all you're seeing is a bit of a bounce in a lot of things. You see a bounce in a lot of things, and a lot of those bounces did not really um, convince me. Like I talked to you guys about Microsoft, I was waiting to see if Microsoft was ready for me to take that play on it. Um, by what Microsoft ended up doing today, I was not convinced. I was not convinced this was the time. I mean, what is this? So I was not convinced. So I pretty much did not do anything on Microsoft. All right. Now, I just want to talk to you guys about um, the futures trading that I currently do. I do have some people that I'm helping passing accounts and things like that. This is how we do. Just following the process. I have my whole process. This is how we do it. If you're interested in trading futures, just hit me up. Let me know. There's nothing better than trading with other people's money. All right. So your investment right now, and once again, for those of you guys that are still watching, Apex or Apex, whichever you wanna pronounce it. Apex now has 90% off again. All right, it's 90% off. So 50K accounts are back to $20. All right. They sent me that email this afternoon. So you use my code POP, you should be able to get uh, 90% off. Yeah, 90% off. You should be able to get that. If you use my code POP, you should be able to get 90% off on the 50K accounts and the 100K. I don't know specifically, but I know if you want to take a 300K account right now, the 300K is only I think it's only $40 right now also. It's at 90% also. That's a 300K account. That's also at $39, so $40. So you guys going to have to do if you do that, just a reminder. So when you initially get the accounts from Apex, for those of you guys who do not know, so every single prop firm charges you for an activation fee. It's just a matter of when do you pay it, right? Now, there's different ways that works. So for other competitors, I'm not gonna name any competitors that I don't work with right now. I'm an affiliate of Apex, right? I'm a partner with Apex. That's why I will name them. I'm not gonna tell you Apex is the next best is the best thing since sliced bread, but this is one advantage that they have. When you take the evaluation, you only pay. Let's say you take a 50K account, you only pay $20. Now the activation fee, you do not pay that if you do not pass the account. All right. So there is no fee if you do not pass the account for the activation. All right. So that means all you did was if you blow the account, if you lost it, that means you lost $20. That's it. Now, what other firms are doing and whatever, they are charging you they technically they say no activation fee. Why? Because the activation fee is already included. As you say, nice ships. Um, the activation fee is already included. All right. So that means if you don't pass the challenge, you already pay for the activation fee. So instead of you paying $20 to get the evaluation, they might charge you $80 or $120 or whatever it is, or 170. All right. So that means you already paid the evaluation. That's the way that it works. Now the rules are different. People like different rules and things like that and whatever. But I think Apex provide one of the lowest cost of entry because yeah, once you pass it, you have to pay for the activation fee. Make sure you do your own research, by the way. Make sure you do your own research. But if you go there, if you do wanna try your luck with Apex, you know, go in there and use my code POP so you can get 90% off. And if you really want to get very good at trading these things and passing an evaluation, just let me know. I do have plans for that. That includes a 10 session. It's a 10 session fee that I charge. And by then you should be able, once you're done, you should be able to walk away with an exact plan. If not already pass your account, but you should have an exact plan, exactly how I take my things. You should know how to execute the trades and everything. All that is done. If you're interested in that, reach out to me. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss, and we'll find a way to work some things out. Now, somebody asked me any words of encouragement. Is going back to something that I've said before. This is the one thing I keep telling you guys over and over. Any day, the market is it's not just a patient game, it's a survival game. The longer you survive in the market, that's why I keep saying be defensive, protect your account. The longer you survive in the market, the higher the likelihood of you being profitable. All right. What I mean by that is, and again, I understand following your process, and that what that does by following processes and things like that, it helps you to really protect your account. So the more you can protect your account, that's something that's really going to help you. You have to. One thing. This is the thing I'll say to you guys. If you are not, don't listen to what I said. Say, hey, you know what? You lack certain things. You're not perfect at this and that and whatever. You are doing your best. Just keep improving. All right. When you make mistakes, go research, right? Research your own trades. You're going to learn so much by reviewing. If you journal, so by reviewing your own trades, seeing your journals and whatever, one of the best thing you can do is download your trading journal from a lot of those companies. Now you're able to actually download that file with all your trades, whether it's trading, Thinkorswim, Webull, or Robinhood. Just download that, plug it into ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT to analyze your trade for you. All right, to at least give you that way. Maybe ChatGPT. But I don't use ChatGPT personally to do that. I use a different platform. Again, I'm not advertising for ChatGPT. I'm not asking you to go pay for that. All right, I'm just letting you know that. Well, you can. Let me just say AI. You can just use AI to help you with do that. But it would also be great for you guys to take stock and see, okay, where did you make some mistakes? I still make some mistakes myself. All right, I still do. The only difference is what are you doing to correct those mistakes? All right, that is the only difference. It's what are you doing? I still have things that I'm working on, and sometimes you get caught with your pants around your ankle, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? Like you get into a trade. Today trade working well and whatever, and maybe you take profit on it, which is good, and then you wake up tomorrow and some crazy thing happen and the stock is down like 5, 6, 7 points. By then, your option is dying, and there's not much you can do about it. So my thing is just guys, just keep on trading, keep on doing what you gotta do, right? Um, just keep on trading, just stay at it. Make sure you guys keep reviewing your trades, keep studying. When you do not get discouraged, whatever you do not get discouraged. Understand, if you still able to trade tomorrow, if you survive today, one thing you need to realize, there are thousands of people who took their last trade today. meaning as of tomorrow they can no longer trade. You're not one of them today. All right, you today you are not one of them. So take words of encouragement on that. If you've been trading for a year or 2 years and whatever it is, and you maybe you're not profitable yet, maybe you just at break even, maybe you just slightly profitable and things like that. I don't want you to think that okay, this is too hard, this is too much for you. The fact that you taking that many hits and you still standing and you still want to trade and you still want to do this says a lot about yourself. It says about a lot about your resilience, and you need that if you're going to be successful at trading. One other thing my mentor told me about trading is he told me to be really good at trading, you have to almost be a bit insane, because who the heck wants to do a job, right? Who wants to do something where you show up for a whole week and you giving it everything you have, right? You there, you following, you doing everything. You focus, you giving the time, and by the end of the week you lost money. Who wants to do that? Who wants to get beat up like that? Or let's say you really get into a really big drawdown. You went up and your account went up 50%, 60%, and then you make one mistake in one day, just like that in one day, boom, you lost all of that. And for you to have the mental capacity to come back the next day and to do this again. Now, I'm not telling you to not take time off. When things like that happen, it's great to take some time off. But if you don't, to be able to do that and still following your process and whatever, that's where the challenge comes in sometimes. When you have big losses, is being able to follow the process, and whatever, and be patient. But when you have things like that happen, the fact that you guys are still here, that is commendable. That is good. There's nothing. I will tell you guys, there's nothing else that you are going to do that give you the opportunity that trading gives you. All right, like I'm gonna give you guys a quick example. Like yesterday I spent the entire day sitting here, and I'm trying to see what exactly can I do, what can I trade as far as small cap. Nothing. I got absolutely nothing for me to do. And right after hours, I had a couple of stock popped up. Now they were base hits, right? I had a couple of stock pops up, and I just spent the entire day, right? So we're talking about I just spent 8 hours. I made $0. I made absolutely $0 after spending this entire time. And then those things popped up, and in a matter of about 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, I had a couple of good stock popped up. I made about $900. All right, but that's the opportunity that the stock market gives you. Sometimes you got to be patient. Sometimes you're not gonna get any trade, so you don't take any. Just being patient. Don't trade garbage. Don't force trade. Don't get bored. Do not get bored and start trading things you're not supposed to trade. So it's having that discipline is what that these are the things that's going to help you guys, and things like that. I say all that just to bring it back and say, if you are still trading, just I commend you guys that you are still trading. I want you guys to be patient. I want you guys to keep reviewing your trade. I want you guys to keep following your process. Make sure you have a process in play. If you have to write down certain things that you need, right? Like, hey, I need my trades to meet this, and that. Write it down and as a checkbox, and then check all the boxes so you know exactly what it is you're going to trade. Before you take a trade, you could say, okay, um, okay, mark this crossover. I have this bullish candle pattern. I'm at support level, or maybe I'm just doing a bull flag, whatever it is. So you have those things. I have increased volume. So you have those things that can help you out when you're trading. All right, because if you cannot trade blind, if you don't know your trading plan from the back of your head, why you taking the trade, right? you're going to take bad trades all the time. And even then, you still get a hijack and get emotional and take bad trades. But that is something that's going to help you guys a lot. But I want to commend you guys. I wish you guys the absolute best. Tomorrow is supposed to be an interesting day when the job numbers come out. It's definitely going to shake the market. If you are day trading, just make sure you are patient. If the stock is already gone without you, that's okay. Let it go. I had to do that today. I had to do that today. The market just went without me, and for the most part, I just let it go. And then you have to also watch to see how choppy is this market, because sometimes the market could be going up, but it never really gives you an opportunity to get in, right? Because the moves are so crazy up and down. It's just taking our stop losses on the way up and on the way down as it's moving, right? So when you if you see things like that, you stay out. All right. That being said, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go. It's been a fun day. It's been a fun day, and honestly, mainly was a fun day toward the end of the day for me. But for the most part, first half of the day, I did absolutely nothing. Actually, I did. I took two trades on in the futures. I lost both, but guess what? Following the process, tight stop loss, I only lost $400 on those two trades. That was beautiful. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys again tomorrow for another review. Wish you guys the best. Stay with it. Don't get discouraged. It is going to happen, but you gotta put the time in. There is no shortcut. There's no shortcut. When you trading the market, there's nobody coming. It's you and the person in the mirror, all right? You got to hold yourself accountable. Unless you go out and find a mentor and find somebody else that can help and push you, there's nobody else coming to tell you to journal. Nobody's coming to tell you to wake up and make sure you find your levels. No one's going to be over your shoulder telling you, hey, be patient and whatever. Well, obviously, if you're part of the community and you trade live with me, I will be there telling you that. But if you're trading by yourself, there's nobody that's going to tell you, hey, be patient. This is not a good entry. Why are you taking this? This doesn't fit your plan. If you're not trading as part of a group, and whatever that can hold people accountable, you're trading by yourself, you're not gonna have that. So I really hope you guys really find a way to be patient tomorrow. Get in, get green, get out. It's already Thursday. It's a short week. You don't have to stay in the market for long. All right, guys. Take care. Peace. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.